Hello, Libra. What if I told you that your soul has already sent a signal to the universe and this message you're hearing right now is the universe responding? This isn't just a horoscope. This is a divine appointment between your spirit and something greater than words. And if you're here, listening, feeling even the slightest pull in your chest or soft echo in your heart, then Libra, you're exactly where you're meant to be. Welcome to Zodiac Whisper Tarot, your sacred space for cosmic clarity, inner alignment, and gentle revelation. We don't just read the stars here or listen to what your soul has been trying to say beneath the noise of the world. And today, that message is one of balance, rebirth, and quiet power. Libra, I see you. The one who holds the peace, who keeps the harmony, even when your own heart feels like it's trembling. You've walked with grace through chaos. You've smiled when your energy was drained. But what if I told you this is the moment you get to realign the scales? Not for everyone else. For you. There's a shift in the air. A quiet, almost imperceptible cosmic click. And while others might rush past it, you being who you are feel it like a feather brushing across your intuition. The universe is guiding you to pause, to listen, and to receive. Not everything must be earned through struggle. Not every connection needs fixing. Sometimes, the deepest realignment begins when you finally choose to center yourself. To stop overthinking. To stop carrying what's not yours. So if you've been second-guessing, doubting, or wondering why certain themes keep returning, this is your sign. Something beautiful is approaching, not in the form of noise or urgency but as a soul gift, wrapped in clarity and calm. Will you be ready to embrace it? Let me take a moment to say thank you. Truly. Every like, every comment, every subscription you offer this channel, it matters. It doesn't just support Zodiac Whisper Tarot, it deepens your bond with this growing soul family. And from the bottom of my heart, I'm honored to be on this path with you. And believe me, dear Libra, you'll want to stay with me until the very last breath of today's reading. What the universe is about to reveal through the stars, the numbers, the cards, and the energy moving through your life, it's breathtaking. It's personal. And it's time. So now tell me, what did your soul whisper that brought you here today? What moment, what emotion, what sign opened the door? Drop it in the comments. And if you're feeling that sacred pull, leave the number 6 below, our divine number of beauty, harmony, and heart-centered decisions. Take a deep breath now. Feel the stillness return. And step with me into this next chapter, where your balance isn't just restored, it's redefined. Let's begin. Sometimes, the first step to healing isn't doing more, it's undoing what's been quietly pulling you out of rhythm. Right now, the cosmic energies are aligning in a gentle but undeniable way. Venus, your ruling planet, isn't just orbiting through the sky, it's reflecting something deeper within you. Venus governs love, beauty, and harmony, yes, but beyond aesthetics, it rules over your sense of alignment, what feels right, not just what looks good. And in this current energetic cycle, it's softly nudging you to come back to your center, not for anyone else, but for your own soul's quiet balance. As a Libra, you're gifted with the instinct to harmonize. You sense discord like others sense cold air. It reaches you quickly, deeply. But here's a truth we often forget: harmony doesn't always mean pleasing everyone. Sometimes, it means disrupting a pattern that no longer resonates with your deeper truth. You don't have to carry every weight just to make things feel even. You don't have to pour yourself out just to keep the peace. This moment is sacred. Not because it's dramatic or loud, but because it's still. It's subtle. And in that stillness, you are being invited to observe which relationships, routines, or inner dialogues are no longer matching your natural vibration. Who have you been overgiving to? What conversations have you been avoiding? Where have you been betraying your own peace for the comfort of others? Numerologically, the number 6 gently whispers through this energy field. It speaks of grace, of compassion, of creating beauty not through control, but through understanding. It's the number of nurturers, of balance seekers, of those who carry light in quiet ways. It reminds you that you don't have to sacrifice yourself to create harmony. You are harmony, when you're rooted in what's real. The law of attraction meets you here with its most fundamental principle, like attracts like. When your internal world finds steadiness, your external world mirrors it back to you. That doesn't mean forcing yourself to be calm or pretending everything is okay. It means tending to your inner terrain with honesty. It's okay to admit that you're tired. It's okay to want to rest. It's okay to say, this doesn't work for me anymore. That truth is not a rupture. It's a realignment. Even in ancient spiritual wisdom, there's an understanding that peace is a gift but also a practice. You weren't made to carry burdens that were never yours. You weren't made to edit yourself so others feel more comfortable. Sometimes the most loving thing you can do for yourself and for others is to honor your boundaries with kindness. Not with resistance, but with reverence. And maybe that's the real work of balance, not perfect symmetry, but sacred honesty. When you choose to stand in your truth gently, steadily, you give permission for the world around you to shift, too. You create new dynamics, new connections, and new energy flows that are based not on expectations, but on authenticity. So, if lately you've been feeling tangled up in trying to be everything to everyone, pause. Breathe. Come back to you. You're not here to be the glue. You're here to be the light. And when your inner world glows with truth, everything that resonates with that light will find its way to you. If you feel this in your heart, let it be known. You can share in the comments what's been heavy on your spirit, or simply type the number 6, a quiet affirmation that you're returning to your sacred center. The universe is listening. And more importantly, so are you. You may have started to feel it already, that subtle shift in how you relate to your work, your money, and even the expectations that others place on your time. Something is changing, not just in your outer world, but in the way your spirit is responding to what used to feel urgent, necessary, or rewarding. And that's not coincidence, it's a realignment. It's the universe gently guiding you toward a new version of stability, one that matches who you are now, not who you were before. Right now, Libra, the cosmic scales of your life are being adjusted not to punish or confuse, but to bring clarity. The Justice card, a reflection of your very essence, has made its presence known. Not as a harsh verdict, but as a mirror. It invites you to examine where fairness begins with you. Are you giving as much to yourself as you give to your job, your ambitions, or the people around you? Are your efforts being seen, honored, or reciprocated? Or have you been balancing on one foot for too long just to keep everything else from tipping? With 2 of Pentacles entering this reading, you're being shown that it's okay to juggle, but not at the cost of your own peace. Yes, life brings responsibilities, but it also calls for conscious choices. And right now, those choices are showing up in your career, your income, and the way you've been measuring success. This isn't a time to hustle harder. It's a time to recalibrate. You're not being asked to chase perfection, you're being asked to choose what feels right, even if it's simpler, quieter, or unfamiliar. When we bring in the wisdom of self-leadership, something becomes clear. Your value is not in how busy you are, how much you say yes, or how often you sacrifice your needs to meet deadlines or please others. Your value was already written into your being the moment you were created. And that means every financial decision, every career move, every collaboration should flow from that inner knowing. From your worth, not your worry. There's also something softly beautiful in the energy of the number 24, a sacred reminder that long-term growth is built on steady foundations. Not rushed success. Not overextension. But thoughtful, aligned commitments that allow you to thrive. The financial and professional opportunities coming your way now aren't about climbing faster, they're about choosing wisely. You might be guided to revisit a past project, renegotiate a contract, or restructure your budget, not because something's wrong, but because your internal values are evolving. You're creating a future that reflects your balance, not your burnout. Even in practical terms, now is a good moment to sit down with your numbers, to map out what truly supports you, not just financially, but energetically. What do you spend your hours on? Where does your energy go? Do you feel expanded or depleted after a workday? These questions are invitations to come back to the center of your power. And remember, even spiritual teachings remind us to build our house on solid ground, not shifting sand. That applies not just to faith, but to finances, to work, to the way we show up for our goals. Doing what is right, what is honest, fair, and aligned with your heart is always worth more than doing what simply looks impressive. So if you've been feeling pulled to change jobs, launch something new, or simply set better boundaries with time and money, trust that pull. It's not fear, it's truth whispering through the noise. You're allowed to choose ease. You're allowed to earn in ways that feel authentic. You're allowed to rest without guilt. And most of all, you're allowed to grow at your own pace. If you feel this message speaking to something real inside you, take a moment to affirm it. You can share in the comments or simply write, "I choose what aligns with both my heart and my mind." That alone shifts your energy, and energy, dear Libra, where true prosperity begins. Love has always been a delicate dance for you, Libra, one where every step is measured not in logic but in emotional rhythm. You sense the slightest shift in energy before words are ever spoken. You read the unsaid like music written between the lines, and your gift lies in your ability to bring harmony where others only hear dissonance. But even the most graceful dancers need a pause, a moment to feel their own heartbeat before returning to the music of connection. And right now, you're being asked to take that memento, recalibrate what love really means for you. With the Two of Cups and Temperance guiding this part of your reading, the message is both intimate and empowering. Something in the realm of your heart is gently shifting. Perhaps it's a connection that once felt out of step, now returning to a more aligned rhythm. Or maybe it's your own awareness of how you've been showing up in love, and where your giving has outpaced your receiving. Love, after all, is not just about pouring out, it's about being filled, too. And that balance is what your spirit is quietly craving. Often in relationships, especially for someone like you who values peace and fairness, there's a temptation to keep things beautiful on the surface to avoid tension, to offer understanding even when your own needs go unmet. But true love doesn't ask you to abandon yourself. Real connection grows not from perfection, but from presence. From being fully who you are, even if that means sharing a difficult truth. There is no healing in hiding. There is no harmony in silencing your truth just to maintain the illusion of peace. This is a moment to bring clarity to your heart space, not through confrontation, but through calm, respectful honesty. If there is something you've been carrying, unsaid, now may be the time to speak, not to accuse, not to demand, but to reveal. The most transformative conversations often begin with, "This is how I've been feeling," and unfold from there. And remember, listening with the intent to understand, rather than respond, is a gift you've always given others. You deserve that same grace in return. The energy of temperance reminds you that patience in love doesn't mean passivity. It means you're tending to the relationship with care, letting it breathe, rather than rushing to fix or label what is still becoming. It also teaches that compromise must come from two whole beings, not from one person bending until they disappear. You don't have to earn love by sacrificing your needs. The right person will want to meet you in the middle, not just receive what you offer. In astrology, your most compatible signs, Gemini, Aquarius, Sagittarius, bring air and fire to your Libra balance, encouraging playful curiosity and expansion. But even the most compatible energies require communication to thrive. On the other hand, Capricorn's practical nature may challenge your romantic flow, not because it lacks love, but because it loves differently. And knowing how you both give and receive affection can ease misunderstandings before they become walls. In moments of emotional doubt, there's a simple truth you can return to: love should feel like freedom, not fear. It should give you room to grow, to speak, to breathe. If you find yourself waiting for someone to show up more fully, let that waiting be filled with self-honoring, not self-denial. And if you're already in a relationship, use this moment to lean into deeper dialogue, not from anxiety, but from genuine curiosity. How are we evolving together? Remember, love flourishes not where there are no flaws, but where flaws are held with kindness. Just as you long to be seen for your heart, your depth, your dream, so too do those you care about. If you're waiting on someone to step forward, trust that your openness is enough. And if you're the one holding a truth, perhaps today is the day to share it with grace. If this resonates with your current journey, take a moment to breathe that in. And if you're quietly hoping for that gentle truth to arrive, or preparing to offer your own, feel free to leave a love letter in the comments. Sometimes, acknowledgement is the first bridge between hearts. And Libra, you've always known how to build bridges. Now it's time to walk across one toward your own emotional freedom. The more deeply we journey into our emotional world, the more we begin to see how closely it intertwines with the physical. After all the inner realignment, you've begun the recalibration of your energy, the gentle examination of your boundaries in love and work. Your body is now asking for something simpler, yet just as sacred: care. Not in the form of fixing or performance, but in the quiet commitment to presence. To rest. To softness. To the kind of nourishment that doesn't require proving anything, only listening. This is where many Libra hearts meet their challenge, because you are so attuned to others, so naturally inclined to respond, soothe, harmonize, that you may forget how loud your own body has been whispering for attention. But just like balance in love or career, balance within requires conscious tending. Not discipline in the rigid sense, but devotion. A gentle rhythm of, I matter, that begins with the small decisions you make every day: what you drink, how you breathe, what you allow to fill your space. Now is a beautiful moment to return to the body, not as a machine to optimize, but as a sacred home to cherish. Think about the pace you've been moving at lately. Have your thoughts been racing faster than your breath? Have your days been filled with giving while your energy quietly runs thin? It's okay to acknowledge that. You're human, and being human includes tiredness, stillness, and the need to retreat. It's not weakness. It's wisdom. Emotional clarity is so often born in the spaces we give ourselves. A walk through gentle light. A quiet song with no words. A cup of mint tea sipped with full attention. These are not luxuries. These are portals. In fact, many who walk in spiritual or contemplative paths will tell you real transformation often happens not in grand events, but in the humble daily choice to listen within. To make space for breath. To choose nourishment over neglect. From a physical perspective, your nervous system responds powerfully to intention. The breath you take in counts. The exhale you slow down counts even more. Something as simple as a 4-7-8 breath, the count of 4 in, 7 hold, 8 out can shift the entire rhythm of your day. Try it tonight before bed. Let your body feel what it's like to be told, you're safe now. You can rest. And let's not forget the healing power of scent, of taste, of touch. A drop of lavender oil on your wrist. A warm compress across the back of your neck. The sweet grounding of foods that are light yet nurturing: steamed greens, warm broths, gentle grains. These are acts of love in motion, and you are just as deserving of that love as anyone you so effortlessly give to. Even in sacred teachings, we're reminded that we are not called to carry the world on our shoulders. We are called to be stewards of what we've been given, including our own well-being. You can't pour from an empty cup, Libra. And the world doesn't need you to be perfect. It needs you to be well. To be steady. To be present. Not just for others but for yourself. So, today, if nothing else, give your mind and body one full moment of care. One act of tenderness that says, I'm here. I matter. Maybe that's 10 minutes of music that makes your heart feel open. Maybe it's silence and deep breaths in the morning. Maybe it's a walk with no destination. Whatever it is, let it be yours and let it count. And if this message has stirred something real within you, feel free to type it into being. Let the world know, I love my body and my mind. Because sometimes, the act of saying it aloud is the first breath of healing. And Libra, your healing matters. Just as much as your harmony. There comes a time, often quiet and unexpected, when the path ahead doesn't ask for more logic, more lists, or more approval. It asks for stillness. For trust. For listening. Not to the noise of the world, but to that soft yet unwavering voice within you. And Libra, you're standing at the threshold of such a moment now. The choices in front of you are not merely practical, they are sacred. They are invitations. Not to please, not to perform, but to align with the deeper wisdom that's always been pulsing beneath the surface of your thoughts. The presence of the High Priestess in this part of your journey is no accident. She shows up when the mind has done all it can, and now the soul is ready to speak. She asks for honesty, not the kind you speak to others, but the kind you whisper to yourself when no one else is around. What do you know, deep down, that you've been avoiding? What have you been sensing in your body, your dreams, or your silences that logic alone can't explain? This isn't about drama. It's about direction. And it's about deciding whether you want to continue building a life that looks good or one that feels like home to your soul. Because as the Lover's card reminds us, the most profound decisions in life aren't always about who or what you choose, a theory about why. About whether your choices are born from love or from fear. From alignment or from obligation. And only you can know the difference. In numerology, the number 11 is often seen as a gateway number. Not a finish line, but an opening, a threshold to greater insight, clarity, and self-trust. You're being invited to step through that gateway now, not with haste, but with humility. And the number 29? That's your call to dialogue, the kind of inner conversation where your will and your heart finally sit at the same table, and you ask, what do I really want to feel at the end of this path? Too often, we allow fear to speak louder than truth. We listen to timelines, to what others expect, to our own patterns of avoiding discomfort. But true peace, the kind that isn't shaken by change, only comes when we stop living to avoid regret and start choosing in favor of alignment. And yes, sometimes that means releasing something you once prayed for. Sometimes that means forgiving someone who will never understand. And sometimes it simply means choosing silence over explanation, peace over being right. Even the most grounded teachings remind us that wisdom doesn't always shout, it often waits. And you don't need to earn clarity through struggle. You just need to stop running from what your body, your heart, and your inner knowing already understand. You are being asked not to explain your intuition, but to trust it. Not to rush the decision, but to honor the wisdom behind it. So pause for a moment. Ask yourself, am I following what's expected of me, or what feels true? Am I moving from fear of disappointing others, or from faith in what my life could become if I simply said yes to what I already know? There's a quiet strength in listening inward, Libra. And that strength is your guide now. If this resonates with where you are, if your spirit is stirring and saying, yes, this is my moment, then honor that. You don't need to justify your turning point. You just need to walk with integrity toward it. And when you're ready, even if your voice trembles, let it be heard. Feel free to write in the comments, I am listening to my inner voice. Because sometimes, declaring your truth aloud is the very step that allows the universe to respond. And now, dear Libra, as we gently close this sacred space we've shared together, I want you to pause, not in hesitation, but in honor. You've come a long way, not just in watching this video, but in showing up for yourself. Even if all you did today was breathe through the discomfort, even if all you did was listen quietly to a voice that echoed something deep inside you, that is enough. That is the beginning of transformation. You were never meant to mold yourself into the world's expectations. You were meant to move with intention, to align your steps with your truth, and to choose a life that reflects not only your beauty but your balance. And as we've seen today, the universe isn't pushing you toward perfection. It's inviting you into alignment. Real alignment. The kind that feels peaceful even when it's unfamiliar. The kind that asks you to choose not what's easiest but what's most honest. You don't have to figure it all out today. But what if you committed to just one gentle action? One shift in your routine, your mindset, or your boundaries that says, I trust myself. Could you give yourself that gift? Could you dare to believe that your soul already knows the way? Ask yourself, what's one thing I can do this week to come home to my own rhythm? Is it speaking up instead of staying silent? Is it resting when you usually keep pushing? Is it choosing nourishment physical or emotional without guilt? Let this video not be the end of something, but the spark of a subtle and sacred beginning. If you felt seen in these words, if even a single sentence touched a place inside you that's been waiting to be heard, then let this be your moment to respond. Share with me in the comments, what truth are you stepping into now? Or simply write, I choose to live honestly, love deeply, and grow freely. Sparkling heart, your voice, your reflection, your presence here right matters. And when you speak your intention out loud, the universe listens. And let me take a moment to thank you from the bottom of my heart. For watching this video. For showing up for your journey. For every like, every comment, every time you subscribe, it helps build this soul-centered community at Zodiac Whisper Tarot. It gives me the honor of walking alongside you, and it allows more hearts just like yours to find these gentle messages right when they need them most. So if you haven't already, I invite you to subscribe and become a part of this growing circle of light. Your energy helps this space thrive, and together, we create something beautiful, something real. And believe me when I say, this is just the beginning. Your next chapter is being written not with fear, but with quiet courage. You are more capable than you know, more intuitive than you realize, and more worthy than you've ever been told. The road ahead is not always easy, but it will be yours, and that makes it powerful. I hope you'll stay connected and return for the next video, where we'll continue mapping the whispers of your soul, the guidance of the cosmos, and the path only you can walk. Until then, Libra, remember this. You don't need permission to be who you are. You don't need to earn your place in this world. You are the harmony you've been seeking. Take care of yourself. Trust the timing. Keep your heart open. And I'll be here, waiting for you, listening for the next whisper.